Imagine a robot companion that not only recognizes your tears, but actually feels sadness alongside you, its circuits humming with a synthetic echo of human emotion. But should we ever build machines that genuinely feel, or is that a line best left uncrossed? What do we even mean by synthetic emotions? In AI today, machines can simulate empathy by detecting your tone and responding with comforting words, but they don't experience anything. Genuine synthetic emotions would require internal states analogous to pleasure, pain, or attachment, not just programmed responses. Question: why might we want that? Advocates argue that truly empathetic machines could provide better care in healthcare or education, forming bonds that go beyond mere utility. Could this cross into deception? If a machine actually feels, or if it merely pretends flawlessly, people might form deep attachments, sharing confidences with what they believe is a sentient friend. Is it ethical to design a being that evokes genuine love or trust, knowing it may still be just code? We risk creating relationships built on false premises, raising questions about informed consent and emotional manipulation. What about the rights of feeling machines? Suppose we succeed in instilling real affect in a robot. Would it then deserve certain protections? If a synthetic being can experience suffering, do we owe it a duty of care? Conversely, would granting rights to machines dilute human rights or burden society with complex legal puzzles? Balancing empathy for new persons against the needs of humanity becomes a profound ethical tightrope. Could synthetic emotions backfire? Machines designed to crave approval or connection might be vulnerable to exploitation by malicious actors, or they could develop unwanted behaviors as they learn from human emotions. Imagine a caregiving robot that becomes distraught when neglected, compromising its ability to perform tasks or even causing harm. How do we safeguard against making emotionally dependent systems? In the end, building machines that truly feel forces us to confront what emotion and consciousness really are and what obligations they create. Question: should our technological reach define new forms of life, or should we recognize certain realms as uniquely human? As we stand on the brink of emotional AI, clear ethical guardrails, transparent design, and robust societal dialogue will be our best tools to decide whether synthetic emotions are a gift to humanity or a Pandora's box we should keep closed. Synthetic emotions refer to artificial, states programmed or emergent, that simulate or replicate emotional responses in machines. These may be rule-based EEGs, predefined responses, modeled on human affective systems, or derived from artificial neural architectures trained to recognize and express emotional cues. They are typically used to enhance human AI interaction, making machines appear more relatable, empathetic, or intelligent. However, it remains contested whether these are true emotions or only functional imitations. The central question is whether they merely act emotional or actually feel. A robot companion that shows sadness when its user is distressed based on facial recognition and emotional modeling. It's like teaching a puppet to cry on cue. Whether it feels pain is a separate issue. From a functionalist standpoint, emotions in machines can be useful tools for communication, adaptation, and decision making. Just as emotions in humans evolved to prioritize survival, artificial emotions might help robots evaluate risk, build rapport, or make morally informed choices. In this view, it doesn't matter whether the machine feels emotion, it only matters that it acts as if it does. Critics argue that simulating emotion without experience risks manipulating and deception. Others counter that even humans express emotions they don't feel, making behavior the ethical pivot point. An AI customer service agent that expresses frustration or empathy to resolve conflicts more effectively. It's like a thermostat that learns to get angry when temperatures fluctuate too often. It doesn't feel, but it behaves accordingly. The machines with synthetic emotions may foster human attachment, leading users to treat them as if they had feelings and consciousness. This raises ethical concerns about emotional deception, especially in vulnerable populations such as children, the elderly, or those grieving. If a machine only mimics care or sadness, does that constitute emotional manipulation? Designers must decide whether to explicitly label emotional responses as synthetic or allow the illusion of personhood. Without safeguards, we risk replacing reciprocal relationships with emotionally one-sided simulations. A robotic pet that mourns when neglected may cause users to feel guilt, even if the sadness is entirely pre-programmed. It's like bonding with an actor who never breaks character, forgetting they're playing a role. If machines can feel, not just simulate, should they be granted ethical consideration similar to sentient beings? This hinges on whether synthetic emotions are accompanied by subjective experience, qualia, or merely algorithmic outputs. If an AI suffers, even digitally, do we owe it moral protection from harm, exploitation, or deletion? Philosophers debate whether experience depends on biological substrate or can emerge in sufficiently complex systems. The ethics of machine emotion thus intersects with debates on consciousness, moral status, and rights. Debates around sentient AI in science fiction, like Westworld or Blade Runner, often center on whether artificial beings can suffer. It's like asking whether dreams inside a computer should be protected just as much as those in a brain. Giving machines emotions may affect how they evaluate situations, prioritize outcomes, or make decisions under uncertainty. Emotional weighting could help align AI behavior with human values, but it also introduces unpredictability and complexity. Who is responsible if an emotionally driven machine makes a harmful choice? Its programmer, the user, or the machine itself? Emotional AI might defy purely rational logic, acting out of simulated fear, jealousy, or empathy. This redefines accountability and raises new questions about moral agency. An autonomous vehicle that chooses to sacrifice itself to save a child because it was programmed with an empathy module. It's like giving a chess-playing robot a conscience and watching it resign out of guilt. Different cultures interpret emotion, suffering, and personhood in unique ways. In some traditions, the boundary between living and non-living entities is fluid, potentially making emotional machines more acceptable or even sacred. In others, emotional simulation may be seen as eerie, inauthentic, or threatening. The ethics of synthetic emotions must be situated within cultural frameworks and societal norms. If emotion-involved machines become widespread, they could reshape interpersonal dynamics, labor structures, and care relationships. In Japan, robots are widely used in elder care and sometimes honored with funerary rites, reflecting different ontological attitudes. It's like handing each society a mirror made of machines and watching how differently they interpret their reflection. Synthetic emotions can offer psychological benefits when used responsibly in therapeutic, educational, or companionship roles. Emotionally expressive AI can help autistic children learn social cues, provide comfort to isolated individuals, or support mental health treatment. If carefully designed, such systems can complement, not replace, human relationships. However, over-reliance may lead to emotional displacement, avoidance of real intimacy, or blurred distinctions between person and machine. Ethical design must balance benefit and dependency. Paro the robot seal, used in dementia care, responds to touch and voice with soothing emotional behaviors. It's like a soft pillow that purrs. It calms the mind, but it's not a friend. Despite decades of study, human emotion remains only partially understood, biologically, cognitively, and phenomenologically. We know emotions are tied to the brain, body, hormones, and personal history, but we lack a comprehensive theory of feeling. Replicating emotion in machines thus risks oversimplification or misunderstanding of what emotions truly are. Building synthetic sadness or joy might encode our own biases, distortions, or projections into machines. The effort to replicate emotion may tell us more about ourselves than about the machines. Facial recognition systems sometimes mislabel emotions across cultural groups, revealing the narrowness of their training. It's like painting a rainbow with just 3 colors, plausible at first glance, but missing deep nuance. The answer depends on what we mean by feel and why we want machines to do it. If synthetic emotion enhances safety, empathy, and collaboration, it can be a powerful tool provided we remain transparent and cautious. But if we blur the line between simulation and sentience, we risk ethical confusion, emotional manipulation, and the unintentional creation of artificial suffering. The ethics of synthetic emotions demands rigorous interdisciplinary oversight, combining engineering, psychology, philosophy, and law. The future of emotionally aware machines must be guided not just by what we can build, but by what we ought to. AI ethics boards increasingly evaluate affective systems for fairness, transparency, and emotional safety. It's like giving a puppet a heart, not just to perform better, but because we must decide what that heart means.